My name is Onyx Salva. Welcome to SpeedCast again. Today I am excited to be with Coach Ron Wilson of Huntington High School. Coach Wilson is the head track and field coach and the head football coach at Huntington. Welcome, Coach. How you feeling?
I am feeling pretty good, Mr. Salva. So good to be here with you and to be here with Speed Island.
So let's start this off by Coach Wilson has won every title with his team and the coaches that you can imagine. National champions, state champions. I mean, he got rings for days. Rings on rings on rings. You know.
One of the great things, though, he didn't tell you that he has one of those rings because he was with us for a while.
Yeah, I had to take it out the box. You know. Coach, so how did you get into coaching?
Well, when I first started teaching back in 1998, I was asked to help out with the middle school football team.
Okay.
And I did. Coach Steve Muller, who I took over for at Huntington, gave me that opportunity to say, yeah, go down and I volunteered. It was all voluntarily based, and I volunteered down there for about 3 years with football. While coaching football, they also needed a middle school track coach for the spring season down there. And so myself and Gil Smith, we took over the program that year, and we had a great season. We were undefeated that year. It was a boys and girls team combined.
It was boys and girls?
Yeah, middle school back then was boys and girls combined. So we was undefeated for a few years, and you know what's funny is I remember going, you know, the toughest match was against Brentwood. They always had some thoroughbreds. And we prevailed. And then after like 2 years, we kind of separated. You know, I did the boys and Gil Smith did the girls. But, you know, we still practiced together. So that's when I got my humble start at Findlay Middle School, volunteering for football, but coaching and getting paid for track and field.
Track and field.
Yeah.
I remember when I started getting back into coaching, you know, because I was out of it when I started coaching, because I was away for a while. And I'm looking, I'm like, who are these guys from Huntington? Right? And I'm like, who? And then I said, oh no, they're rolling. I started, and then you had one of your track meets. And I remember I said, yeah, I'm gonna go over there, I'm gonna introduce myself. My team was okay at the time. This is when I was at Mount High School. And I introduced you, and I knew right away, I was like, yeah, he's a special dude. But I'll never forget, it was the relay, right? The 4x4 relay. You've won states, I don't know how many times by then. You guys won nationals that year too, right? Was that indoor season?
2016, we won indoor nationals and outdoor.
So it was that outdoor season, and we're running a 4x4, and I'm looking, and I'm like, he has 2 teams, and we're winning, right? But I'm looking, I was like, oh man. And my team is getting all excited. He had Kyrie Johnson as anchor on one, and the other one was Infinite Tucker. We had like a 50-meter lead, and they literally caught my guy. They looked at each other. So talk to me about that group in particular.
I do so remember that day because that was our first Dennis Walker Invitational that we had at Huntington. Dennis Walker was my coach at Huntington when I was there. I was by far no run, as you can see, but I did throw shot put and discus. Okay. And so, you know, we wanted to do something to honor Coach Walker because he's always supported our program. You know, even till this day, he always supports us. He shows up at the meets, you know, supporting the kids and encouraging the young people. And so I always wanted to show some type of support to him, so we named that meet after him. And that happened to be a special year because we had those thoroughbreds. We had those dudes.
That was a special group.
Yeah, and so I remember, and everyone was excited to see this relay because we separated the national indoor championship team.
Okay.
We put them on two separate teams.
Yeah.
And so Infinite anchoring one, Kyrie Johnson anchoring the other.
Yeah.
And the other coaches, I think Kyrie's gonna get him. I think Infinite's gonna get him. I think Kyrie, because they both, great athletes in their own right.
Yeah.
And I was so disappointed in the outcome because after they pass your kid, I'm like, okay, who's gonna win? And then they come across the line like shaking hands and holding hands like these jackrabbits, these little motor scooters. I was like, these guys, I can't believe they did that. But that was just them.
That was dumb. How were the practices with that group?
Practices were always great. Number one, we've been blessed with a dynamic staff. Okay, we have Coach Eli Acosta, who has been around track and field for a very long time.
Yeah.
Okay, he's been around for at least 50 plus years around track and field. In Huntington, we pretty much started together, I think, around 2010. Okay. I think I was 2008. He came in 2010. But he is the guru behind the closed doors. He's the one with the master plan with getting the kids in the right spots and pushing them at practice. It's my job to keep him there because he's old school. He don't want to listen. He's got to go. Eli, bring him to me. Let me discipline him. Let me run him hard. Let me make him do push-ups and stuff. But we can't send him home. Yeah. That's not going to help us and help him. Yeah. And so
different set of kids.
100%. But the practices were always tough. They were always tough, and those kids would do it. And there were sometimes it was like routine. They knew exactly what to do and when to do it.
Okay.
They would go into that cardio room and do their box jumps and their calisthenics and their lifting and pull-ups and all that stuff. They'll go and do that on their own. Yeah. So that group was really special.
And I feel like they also set the precedence for what happened after they left, because there was a lot of. How did you maintain that consistency and success?
Now with Coach Acosta being around the game that many years, he said, Ron, you only get these kids maybe once every 10 or 12 years. Some coaches never get them in a lifetime. Yeah. We have been blessed by God to consistently get these kids from when we started. Yeah. We had Kyrie's older brother, Tyreek Johnson, who was arguably one of the greatest hurdlers or pretty much athletes to come out of Huntington as well. Yeah, he was amazing. He was one amazing kid. And then from him, we had, along with that group, we had Kyrie, and we had two throwers actually, Dante Allen and Trayvon Tony, who were both quarter milers. Quarter milers? Eli, when they were in 9th and 10th grade, Eli made them quarter milers. And they were, 9th and 10th grade, they were running 54 points. That's crazy. And they were throwers. I said, Eli, listen, I got to take these two. These guys are good. Yeah. And we ended up going to states that year. I think that was in 2011. We went to states with those three and did well. And then after that group, who was underneath them? You had Majesty Allen, Infinite's older brother. Okay. And so, and I remember watching Infinite as an 8th grader because they had their track meets at the high school. And we were finishing up with our practice. Yeah. And I was watching him run his little 200, and he was always a little cocky in a way. And I said, yeah, you ran a good race. He said, yeah, I thought I took off a little too slow, but I still won the race. So it doesn't matter. I thought, very nice job, young man. I can't wait to see you when you get up here. And lo and behold, he ended up, coming up and doing well. Yeah. So with him came Scott Delizio. And then that was a phenomenal group. That's when it really took off. In 2013, 2014, that's when it really took off. And we ended up winning the counties. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. We beat Hills West, who has always been phenomenal. Yeah. Hills West, Longwood, along with Coach Riley and Hills West with Coach Christian. I've always had the greatest of relays in Suffolk County.
Yeah.
And we went up against Hills West at divisions.
Okay.
And matched the Allen. We put him in the 100, the 200, the 400, and the 4x4 relay. And he had a long day. And I think he lost to Jared Redwood in the 100, and he won the 2 and the 4, and he closed ground in the final couple of strides to beat Hills West in the 4x4.
Really?
Closed ground, which was special. That was a special moment. That's when we kind of said, okay, we have something.
We have something right there.
We went down to Penn Relays that year. We had placed in Penn Relays, which was good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And
that's when you knew you really had something.
Yeah, that's when we knew we had something. And again, remember, Infinite was the older guy. I'm sorry, Max Allen was the older guy.
Yeah.
And Infinite, I believe, was a sophomore. So we had Lizio, a junior, and Kyrie Johnson, a freshman.
Oh, that was the relay.
That was the relay. That was the relay that won our division. Should have won counties, but that was the year where we're the team that is the reason why Suffolk County has cones around the track.
Okay, I heard about that.
Season
we won't get too much into detail.
Yeah. That still brings back a little fire.
A little fire in you.
I want to pick up the chair.
But there's some chairs being thrown. I remember after the Walker meet. I don't know if it was that year or the following year where I reached out for the Brit Classic, right? And you guys came, and it was a big, because that was the first time we did the Brit, the Brit Memorial Track meet, and it was pouring cats and dogs. It was pouring, and I was like, all right, because I was running to meet. I was like, all right, guys, coach, meet me at the 50. Ron, what do you want to do? 400s, and we out. All right, guys, let's run these 400s, and we getting up out of here. But it was unique how everything happened, because it was a year after I think Kyrie graduated, right? And we was already developing a relationship, because I had a kid running the 4. He went small schools and stuff like that. But the year after, I had a decent team, 4x4, right? And every time, I'll never forget, national coaches, we ran a 4x2, I think, and then it was a meet after that, we ran against Paul Robeson. And every time I turned around, you was with that finger. See what you're doing.
Yes.
See what you're doing.
I do so remember that. And that's the greatest thing about track and field on Long Island, is because what you do, you form these relationships with coaches, okay, and the bonds that you have with these people, they last forever. And so when you came to our meet, you told us about your meet after we had won nationals, and that was Kyrie's senior year, and that's when we first met the great Derek.
Atkins.
Yeah, we met him there, and because he won the award, and I have a picture with him and Kyrie in our office. That's when we attended that meet in the storm. So we finished that meet, because our young people, I had some 8th graders brewing that day.
Yeah, that was with Anthony Joseph, right?
Anthony Joseph, Nasir Youngblood, Chad Rowe, Jason Turner, those young kids I had. And they were starting to come into their own. And even Isaiah James, a bunch of 8th graders there.
Yeah. Was Kiviat there?
No, Kiviat, he didn't come up. We didn't bring Kiviat up.
Okay.
He was further. He was a little later, a couple of years later. Same group.
Yeah.
Just a couple of years. He stayed at the middle school, but he didn't come up with us.
And it was, so for me as a coach, I remember when we had a conversation, and I was in transition, and you was like, I'm in Huntington. And I remember I was talking to my friend about, prior to that conversation we had, that honest, wherever you go, you gotta go somewhere where you could be mentored. So when we had the conversation, I was like, it never just occurred to me. So then I went over to Huntington, and for me, it was a big shift in my thinking, because I'm hard-headed, right?
A little bit.
But, you know, a lot of characteristics that Coach Britt had, you have. It's about the kids, community, and just your way with people and stuff. So for me, with you, Coach Acosta, Coach Bonhurst, it was a big eye-opener, but you guys helped me develop into a better coaching person from my time there. Because I had all these ideas, I did these classes, and you would just be like, all right, we ain't gonna do this. We're gonna do this day. We're gonna do this day. But that helped me out. That helped me out a lot. So what was your, because when I came in, we had athletes on the boys, on the men's and girls side. So the staff itself that you had with the athletes, it was basically a perfect storm. You know, and a lot of people that honestly at Huntington now. So I guess, what did you feel, talk about that group, the coaching group, just that time, because that was going into COVID. So I guess talk about that experience going into COVID, you adding me, which was a nice little, right?
Well, you got to understand, I always go by my faith and my belief in God, right? And in Matthew, I believe the 25th chapter, the 40th verse, it says, "In as much as ye have done unto the least of these, my brethren, ye have done it unto me." So if Jesus is there to help others, then I got to be there to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I got to help other people.
Yeah.
And so I saw a brother that was in need of some help, you know, somewhere to go, and someone who had a great deal of knowledge, you know, and you had a great deal of knowledge, and I'll never forget, I spoke to my athletic director, Georgia McCarthy, and I said, Georgia, there's a young man I would like to bring in. And she said, well, we have no positions right now. She said, maybe we can bring him in, let's meet him, let me interview him, and we can maybe bring him in on a voluntarily basis, and that's what we ended up doing. Yeah. You know, her and Mr. Hoop, the athletic director now, made that happen. You join, and then now I'm thinking, okay, this is some dynamic staff we have. Yeah. With the athletes that we have going, I said, this is one heck of a staff. We got Eddie Santos, a dynamic thrower, one who I coached myself at the state meet. We have Mark Jackson, who works with the jumpers, who's working with the girls. Now we're bringing you aboard, okay, with your sprinting and your expertise there. And then we already got Coach Bonhurst, we got Coach Acosta. This is like the perfect storm for these kids. Yeah. And it was, because those kids prospered. And not only that, even through the COVID. Even through the COVID. So now, these are hard times. You know, people are locked up. You know? So even through that, we were still able to reach out to all the kids because the relationships that we formed while coaching these kids. So we helped them continue their craft and to continue to move forward. So that's why I'm grateful to God, number one, because you know, I saw that, you know, and we always should want to reach out to help folks.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And that's why even after the Huntington Onyx separation, you still reach out to Huntington kids.
Yeah, because Huntington's family. Absolutely. You know, and it's cool because the kids will reach out to me here and there. Sab, I love what you're doing. Sab, remember this or remember that. So we'll talk about a lot of times where I was at Huntington, a lot of, you know, and it was a big maturation for me, and it developed me in every way being there, and just a lifelong connection and bonds, you know. And a lot of people was like, oh yeah, you was at Huntington, right? Yes. And listen, that state championship, we took away.
We did a lot that year.
We did a lot that year.
Girls and boys.
Yeah.
You know?
Took home a lot of hardware.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We won on the girls' side and the boys' side of the state. Which was great for us because, again, it showed our knowledge base, number one. and then it showed the love and support that we had for one another.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the problem sometimes, Onyx, is that the enemy is always watching. He's always trying to figure out a way how he can wiggle his way in there to break things up.
Yeah.
And that enemy did that. But God is still good, because look what you have here. You know, sometimes we move from one place in our lives to something that's bigger and that's better. Yeah. And that's that's his plan for us.
Yeah, because it's I never envisioned that Speed Island I never envisioned Speed Island at all. It was always, no, I'm a coach at high school, I'm a track and field, and we're gonna have more 52s and 53 girls, and then boom, and then it's like, but God did that for a reason. It was Huntington had to happen for me to mature, to prepare me for this. Because now my reach is longer, I have a wider reach now. But I also have relationships that I've developed through coaching in the high school level where there's a trust there now. And I continue to help Huntington kids. Huntington is home, and it's just, it was a great time. But one thing is, the one thing that I'm happy I'm not at Huntington is because of the food, because you got me fat.
Yes.
Listen, home cooked meals throughout the week, holidays. You can barbecue. So this SpeedCast is brought to you by Ron Wilson's Barbecues. Right? I'll be putting.
That's our side hustle. We do some cooking on the side. We like to eat. We like to cook. We like to hang out, have a little fun. And Lord knows during the COVID, that's all we did.
No, we was eating. Man, I must have gained 50, 60 pounds messing with y'all. But the food is amazing. So I'll be posting those soon. The fried fish, all right, let's not talk about that because I'm trying to lost all that weight. All right. So what I love about these sit downs is who's been on and who's going to be on, because you guys are pioneers in the sport, but not just in the sport of track and field and football, but in the community. You're a big community guy. You grew up in Huntington, you love the community. He does a lot behind the scenes for these kids and these families, so that's something that I've always admired, So, let's see what else I got.
The thing is, so many people, in my bringing up, right, did so much for me. I had teachers that were there for me all the time, from grade school on. One of my favorite teachers, Miss Stewart, Andrea Stewart, she's down in Florida. Myself and another one of my best friends, we go down there and visit her all the time for her birthday. Okay. So, she was great there. But there was people that were always helping me. And to me, when there's somebody helping you, that's love, and love is God. So you have to be able to share that same type of love so that it continues. For example, right? Kyrie Johnson, one of mine. Where's he at? Speed Island. You at Speed Island doing some great things, and he needs that in his life. So that's what's great about the relationships, like we talked about earlier, where that type of love and support continues to grow.
And I feel like that's one of the things one of the reasons why we got along so well so quickly, because it felt home, and it felt like I was back with like the same feelings I had with Britt, because he took me in and stuff like that, and it was just being cut from the same cloth. I saw that family thing, but then what also impressed me was Georgia Dean. She was all about the kids, the community. So for me, I didn't look at her as just an athletic director. I looked at her as being bigger than an athletic director, which is kind of what I view you as being bigger than a coach. It goes past that, and that's what I felt was special about that particular group.
Well, again, see, Huntington is built on pride, in athletics. And Georgia Darren McCarthy, her dad, Ray Darren, was the athletic director at Huntington, and had done some awesome things there when he partnered with Coach Lucy back in the 60s.
Oh, wow.
With the football department.
So it's deep ties.
So it's some deep ties in Huntington. And so with her coming to Huntington, both as an athlete right? And now as an athletic director, who actually helped give me my start along with Tom Sabatel, who was the intern athletic director at the time, gave me my start. So, she understands that love and support that's needed because her dad was there. She saw how her dad gave, and she gave in the same way. If not more. She gave to us, very generous.
Oh no, 100%. And like at Speed Island, it's not just a training facility, but I bring those aspects and that love here. And that's why when we get athletes and new families, they're like, oh, this is different. Because I treat it as a family, as a team, and just that type of environment. And I got that from Britt and from you guys at Huntington. Now that group that we had, let's talk about where they went to school.
Again, that was a special group in 2016. Infinite went to Texas A&M. Upon his graduation. Actually, I'm sorry. He went to UMass on a football scholarship. Got to UMass and was not feeling it. Wasn't feeling football, and I never forget talking as an Infinite. You have to hang in there. It's going to get better. This is a new experience for you. You're just coming off this great high.
Because he won nationals in the 400 hurdles.
400 hurdles. 4x4, he placed like 6th or 7th in the 110s, I believe. And he was a phenomenal long jumper in his own right, but there was just too much for him to do at the time. I know you're Superman. Because eventually that became his name at Texas A&M.
Oh, Superman?
When he won the SECs diving across the finish line.
And went viral everywhere. He got invited to the ESPYs because of that.
So he was Superman in a way. But Texas A&M, and then Kyrie Johnson, Lawrence Lee, Shane McGuire, the following year when they graduated, they went on to great schools. And they were coming in by the loads. These schools were calling, coming in for these kids. And I preferred, because Lawrence wanted to go to Ohio, and Kyrie.
Ohio State.
And I said, great place, both you guys at Ohio State. And, they both were feeling it. Kyrie goes and visits down at Texas A&M.
Over.
I'm
going to Texas A&M.
He ends up at Texas A&M. Lawrence gets a sweet deal down with a great guy, athletic director down there. He was a coach at the time. I now think he's the athletic director at Alton. At Georgetown. And brought Lawrence in and did a great job there. Lawrence went in, winning the Big East. In the 2 and the 4, I believe. And Shane went up to the University of Buffalo. Too cold. I got to get out of there. And ended up finishing up at Maryland.
That's right.
So that foursome was.
And Kyrie won a national championship at Texas A&M as well.
In the 4x4.
That was
a freshman.
I know, that was a special group. And then even after, you consistently send kids, or was sending kids to these big schools. It was Kivyat's at Rhode Island.
Rhode Island
with Mateo.
Mateo's at Rhode Island. Armstrong. Who else we have?
We have Annalise Batista went to.
She's at Arkansas.
And and it's funny because if COVID saved a lot of people from some whooping. Because that group that we had that won all those state titles, COVID hit. Everything got shut down the week after. And the thing is, that year, the 4x2,
remember we were still talking about like that week going into COVID. they're shutting the country down. We're like, we got to plan for this. We got to go to this meet. We're talking about how we're going to get these kids out there. And then I never forget Ms. McCarthy told us, that's when we all ended up with COVID, because that Thursday.
You guys ended up with COVID.
You ended up too. He's full of it. He ended up with COVID also. I don't know how it didn't hit him when we all eating and drinking out of the daggone same cups and French fries and chicken.
I put Vicks on me. But you guys had listen.
It was tough.
It was tough. All right, so I felt bad at the time, but it was probably the funniest picture I've seen of COVID was with Todd. When he had all those
wrapped up like he came from the Middle East somewhere.
He was on his couch. couch with towels all over.
Yeah.
You got
we all jammed up.
You guys jammed up.
It was that Thursday, because remember, Georgia McCarthy, our athletic, she shut everything down. That's it. Mr. Polinsky is shutting everything down.
We went and got wings that Thursday or Wednesday?
That was Thursday. Because we practiced that Thursday. I still remember walking in. I said, well, listen, there's no practice tomorrow, so we might as well go down to
the wing spot.
Yeah, the wing spot. We went to, what was it, Brothers Wings or something like that.
Yeah, it was in the town of Huntington?
Yeah,
that's right.
Down there, Bruise Brothers. We go down there and we start eating some chicken and having a couple of drinks and some fries. And just us and another couple in there. That's it.
Right.
It was just us four.
It was you, me, Eddie, and Ty, right?
That's it. Yeah, and then a couple from Massachusetts.
That's right.
Massachusetts.
That's right.
And then that weekend, Friday, because we go into the city to pick up the bags. We go pick up the national bags.
Yeah.
Okay, Rufus, my cousin Rufus Shepard, from the coach at Whitman.
Yeah.
Okay, he was in the back seat sick.
But he was finished.
Yeah, I mean, you and I in the front seat.
Like nothing. Nothing.
But I knew. That day, people, I knew something was wrong with me. I bought lunch from my parents.
Okay.
And I brought it over there to their house. And I said, here, you guys take what you want out first, and then I'll take whatever's left over. And then I left. And that night, woof, I was done.
But you got COVID like 10 times, bro. You're always sick.
At least.
And you got
at the very least. But God is a healer.
He
God's
is
good, and now is a protector, because when you're around it everywhere, you just say, okay, I'm going there with the armor on, and I'm good to go. But don't be no fool.
Don't be no fool now. Don't be no fool. Yo, but that was a special time, man. There was a very special time and a special group.
And you're right, because see, that group I always figured with CJ Kiviat, right? Anthony Joseph, Isaiah James, and then who else did we have? Justin Stevens, right? And then before him we had Jonathan Smith, because Jonathan Smith, he was like an infinite.
Okay.
He was the older to those guys.
Yeah, because
as infinite was to like Kyrie and Lawrence.
Yeah.
So they were great in themselves and won some state titles. We ran. Jonathan Smith is the only kid besides Kyrie and Infinite to run 46 points at Huntington.
Yeah, he did at the state meet.
Yeah, twice.
Against Newburgh.
Against a very good Newburgh.
Yeah. What did you guys run?
Very good Newburgh.
3:14?
We both ran 3:14. I think in the finals, we may have run 3:13 for the Federation title.
And shout out to the Newburgh coach, because he's been doing great things for years, and just seeing the Huntington Newburgh battles over the years.
Now came out of that. There's a great relationship that I now have with Malcolm Burke of Newburgh. Yeah. Great relationship that we have now.
Yeah.
We call each other on birthdays and on holidays, and he's so good that I'm just calling to see how you doing today, bro.
Yeah.
Just checking in on you.
Yeah.
How's everything going?
Yeah.
You call me. I said, Malcolm, ain't got much this year.
Lawyer.
Yes, Huntington, we're right now in the valley of our, sometimes it goes in valley and peaks. I think we're right now in our valley, but he's got a great team going on now. And
no, he does.
They're running some great times, and we're going to hope that maybe catch him further on down the line. But it's a great relationship that we have, and even back then, our kids have relationships with their kids, like they know them. Yeah. I guess they're on their Instagrams and Twitters and all this other stuff that they have, and they know each other. That's
the relationships, man. I asked Coach Dane this. What do you think Long Island Track and Field is missing? Or what does it need to be a little better or to progress?
I think I would say recruiting for our older kids, but I think we've come a long way in that. Yeah. I think there's been some athletes in the past to help bring that to a better level, a better recognition for Long Island. We have these media outlets, that put these great things out about these kids in regards to their athletic abilities.
Yeah.
And so that's helping with their recruiting process as well to some of these big time schools. But I always tell kids it doesn't have to be a big time school as in Division I.
Yeah.
You know, wherever you feel you're going to be needed is where you should go.
Yeah.
You know, if that need is there, then you go there.
Yeah.
You know, wherever you feel you can be a better person and a better athlete to perfect your craft, that's where it's at.
Gotcha.
You know,
This is true.
Long Island football, track and field, I think we're in a good place.
I do too.
You know, and with facilities like Speed Island, okay, that allows kids that extra push, that extra nudge is important.
Yeah.
You know, and getting these kids at younger ages, you know, where they're in grade school and middle school, getting them there to push this agenda is important as well, because that's important for down the line.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this, you go down in those southern states, I'm in Alabama and Georgia all the time. Those young kids out there running, they're jumping, they're doing some of everything, and they have not only their coaches from their little youth programs or whatever it is, they have things like this that are pushing their agenda.
They do. And that was good. And you kind of answered my next question was, what do you think Speed Island, how has Speed Island helped, or how can people take advantage of Speed Island? That's kind of what the question was gearing, but it's that, because I was, when I started this, which it just started, I remember because I went to school in Miami, and a lot of my college teammates, they were doing things like this throughout the year. So I'm like, you know what, so this could be our outlet or just something that I'm doing to kind of like help us catch up to what the other states are doing.
Yeah.
So like, what do you think, so how do you think Speed Island has, I guess, helped Long Island? And how it can help how it can help Long Island moving forward?
They need another facility in Suffolk County. Okay, because I can't travel this far. I need some Speed Island myself, but this is too much to travel way out here. No, Jack.
So another, I've been getting asked that a lot. You know, the Lord is good. We just started to be a year in January, and I know the Lord has a plan. So the goal is to have something in Nassau County and in Suffolk County as well. And Speed Island is everybody knows I worked my tail off this whole year, right? Not a lot of people knows how tough it was, except for very few. But what keeps me going, because they're like, honest, how you have all this energy, how you have, and it's because of who I'm doing it for, too. It's the athletes, the kids, but it's also a representation of my mentors. You, Britt, Daniels, Derek Atkins, like it's when everybody says, oh, Onyx at Speed Island, but understand what Speed Island and what contributed to me as a coach and a person. It's all you guys. Because I'm sure the Onyx you met in the beginning compared to now,
totally different guy. Same person. Maturity comes in. Wisdom. The older you get, the wiser you should become.
Yeah.
Okay? Because Todd Jameson used to always say, you don't get old by being a fool.
Yeah.
So, we grow and learn daily.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing about life.
Yeah.
We grow and we learn daily.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do.
Yeah, you're right.
We have to continue. I mean, I'm nowhere near perfect. I just went back into football at Huntington as the head coach, and it was a struggle, and it was tough because when like you said, when we had that type of success for that length of time, and now it wasn't as successful with the win-loss column, but the relationships again that you form there and the people that you helped is important because somewhere along that line, even in those defeats, we helped somebody. Whether it was a kid or whether it was a coach. So that's what it's about sometimes. Wins and losses, they will come. That's gonna come. But as far as you have matured, I feel, and you you know you have a good head on your shoulder and you know where you want this to go. And now that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to get it there.
Oh, I'm gonna get it there.
Oh, I know you are. I know you are.
I'm gonna get it there. You know, I value, because a lot of people see Speed Island now and sees the success. For me, I'm like, I mean, it's heading there. I'm not there yet, you know, but I value my mentors that was there for me during the not so good times to help me get through those tough moments. In the past, recently this year, like, you know, you guys helped me mature, but to get through those tough times. But God does things for a reason, and those times had to happen for me to become the person I am, and for Speed Island to continue to grow to what it could potentially be. You know, so
No, for sure.
But I always remember honest, be humble.
Yeah.
Those
I say that quite a bit.
Those conversations in your office.
Humbleness, bro. Humbleness.
You're gonna go to jail.
You gotta slow down.
Go to jail. But Coach, I truly appreciate you coming down, seeing, you know, what we're doing here, continue to support, and you're one of the people that I do it for.
Well, I appreciate that. I give all the glory to God because God is the one that has me here, even in my faults. I know He has me here to do what I have to do, and to work with young people and to continue to make better people out of these young folks that we work with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know, it's an opportunity to help somebody.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's someone young or whether it's someone like you, or you know, you help me, believe it or not. So that's what we're here for.
I appreciate it. Oh, and you know, before we end, I have to talk about Coach Bonhurst and Coach Acosta and how they helped me also, because I needed a lot of guidance, right? I needed a lot of guidance, and as a young coach, I'm hard-headed. I don't listen a lot, right? I eventually get it, but Acosta came from a place of like, he knew his stuff. And the fact that he took me in, and he would give me his credit, but he did it in a way that was like, all right, well, try to. So he mentored me on how to put the workouts together, when to plug, and he's helped me out on that aspect. And Coach Bonhurst is my track mom. She's blunt, but it's coming from a place of love. And even to this day, she checks up on me and gives me ideas with Speed Island and stuff. So that, you, Coach Bonhurst, Coach Acosta, like, that's family.
What do the kids call Coach Bonhurst?
Mama?
Nah, they call her auntie, which is just a term of endearment.
They do.
And not only, it's every group. You think that they would say, you know, like this new group that we got, very nice kids that we have too, about 11, 12 throwers, which is nice.
Yeah.
But they even call her auntie now.
Yeah.
Like, it's no Coach Bonhurst. It's because it's a term of endearment.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the love that she shows them, and it's that love that they give back with that name that they've given her.
Yeah.
Auntie.
Auntie, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When they call you
I
auntie.
think that came from Mateo McNeil. Back in our day, we had him as a thrower. We had him for a long time because he came up as an 8th grader.
Yeah. Nah, this is great. I was looking forward to this for a long time. I said, I gotta get Wilson on here.
Well, listen, get me out here. I'm glad I'm finally getting a chance to get out here and to see exactly this great facility that you have to work with, and the great things that you're doing with these young people. And the only thing I can do is continue to tell you to keep doing what you're doing. You know, focus on these younger kids, middle school, elementary, because they gotta grow up.
Yeah.
They gotta grow up. And if they continue to grow up with this type of environment and with this type of nurturing and nurturing their athletic abilities, they're going to do some awesome things down the road for Long Island athletics.
Yeah.
Not only football, not only track and field, but in field hockey and soccer and hockey and all these other sports. It's going to, help Long Island.
No,
make Long Island better.
I agree. What started to happen too with the youth athletes, they'll see the older athletes, and these kids, Josiah, KJ, like they're going to these big schools and they're looking up to these kids like, oh, so they want to be a part of that group.
Yeah.
They're like, no, they're at Speed Island. We want to be a part of Speed Island. And what I love is that the older kids are taking those younger kids in.
Yeah.
This is what it takes. How's your grades? How's this? How's that? So it's a good dynamic, man.
It is. And you got some great young people working with you.
Yeah.
I know that I remember seeing the Christopher Barzar kid from Uniondale.
Yeah.
Phenomenal young man. And so, you got some great young kids that you're reaching back to try to help because, you got that same help, so now you're reaching back to do the same thing. And they want to help. These young kids want to help. They want to see kids prosper. They want to see kids have success as they have.
Yeah,
So,
it goes back to each one, reach one, teach one. And you gotta pay it forward. That's what makes this different. Like there's a love and a passion for these kids and for your mentors. Because you're a representation of them. Like I want when people see me, they think of Ron Wilson, Acosta, Britt, Atkins. You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at it. So it's just paying it forward. So I'm happy. I'm just mad you didn't bring no barbecue. You should have brought some fried fish or something.
Well, let me tell you, I just told my sister, okay? I did tell my sister that we were talking about some fried whiteys and some catfish yesterday. And I said, while I'm out in Nassau County, 'cause I know they got the best of the best out this way, I'm going to find someplace to find me some fish, and I'm going to go home and fry me some fish. Because I am hungry.
He is hungry. Well, I'm about to go to the gym.
Well, before we go, okay, because I know you got my boy from Baldwin coming in, Higgins soon. Okay, I wore this hat especially for my boy Higgins. Okay, got the roll with the Tide. We'll see you on Monday, Michigan, because it's going to be all about the Tide come Monday. Auburn, you did give us a good run. Okay, gave us a good run for our money. And Higgins, you're right there. You're right. You're right there. You should have had us. But Faith would not see it that way, and the Tide is back.
So, Coach Higgins and Coach Wilson has had this rivalry wherever we go. Coach Higgins, he will be on the SpeedCast in January. Coach for Hempstead High School for years. Now he's at Baldwin, and he's another one. So that'll be great.
Yes.
But all right, Coach, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, sir, for having me.
Appreciate you.
Let's keep it going, Speed Island.
That's right. All right, guys. Thank you for your time. Enjoy your New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year, everyone.
All right, guys.